Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. I'm Mike Briggs, and we come here every day telling you about cool things going on in Fresno. There's things to do every day for hobbyists, for people who enjoy music, or people who like theater, and people say there's nothing to do in Fresno. Well, there's always something to do in Fresno, and we're here to introduce you to those people and groups that are doing things. Our next guest, James Obler from the Fresno Numismatic Society, is here today to tell us about, well, that they exist and you could be involved, and they have a big event coming up. James, welcome.
Thank you.
What does numismatic mean?
Numismatic is just a long word for coin collector.
Okay.
So that covers coins, paper money, and things like tokens and medals. They're all kind of sandwiched together in the same hobby pursuit. Numismatics.
Numismatic. Now, I always think of coin collecting as we used to get those wheatback pennies. When we got them, and we kept them, or a silver coin, which they stopped making those in, I think, 64.
Yes.
Silver dimes and quarters, but it's bigger than that, huh?
Well, sure. I mean, I'd read that people like Mark Antony in ancient Roman times were coin collectors in the sense that they would keep examples of what people were using for money back then and form a collection. I think Thomas Jefferson was a bit of a collector. Buddy Ebsen from Beverly Hillbillies was a noted collector. It goes way back and continues today.
Now, have you seen in-person coins from ancient times?
Sure. I've got a couple in my collection. I actually brought one here. I wasn't sure if we'd have a chance to look at it. Yeah. Let me dig it out of my pouch.
This is fascinating. So what period would yours be from?
This is from a long time ago. This is ancient Greece. This is a tetradrachm from Athens.
Tetradrachm means?
It's 4 drachma. The Greek.
Kind of hold it a little bit towards that camera there.
Well, we can hold it up. I don't know how you can possibly see that unless you can enlarge it and zoom in. But this coin is from it's over 2,400 years old.
2,400 years old.
Yes, and these were minted in large quantities in ancient Greece.
So there's a lot of them out there still?
They're actually fairly common. They're expensive because there's a lot of collector demand for them. Yeah. They're also known as the owl because they have the Athenian owl motif on the back.
It's almost touching. I'm afraid to touch it.
It's almost pure silver.
Yeah.
And these were essentially Alexander the Great financed his campaign to conquer the world using the silver mined in Greece. It was a very productive mine. It produced literally millions of these silver coins over several hundred years.
How'd they make that?
Oh, they had a very a very intricate process. First, they learned how to purify silver, which was kind of a big deal 2,500 years ago. They figured out, wow, modern chemistry 2,500 years ago. They'd get the purified silver, they would cut it into pre-weighed lumps. The weights were pretty accurate then, too. The coins were very consistent one to the next. And they used hand-engraved dies and a big hammer. They would soften each piece of silver in a furnace, put it on an anvil die, which was mounted on a workbench, and they'd take the hammer die, which was like a engraved cylinder of bronze, and then a big mallet, put it on top, bam! Depending on the strength and the skill of the coiner, you get pretty well centered and pretty well made pieces.
A good weight, very accurate.
The weights are accurate within a couple hundredths of a gram usually. They're very, very precise.
That's amazing.
And that's why they trusted this money in the ancient world. If you had this stuff, you could spend it anywhere.
Now, we'll come back to this later, but before people tune out, I wanted to touch on this event. Tell us about that.
Well, this is our annual coin show. The Fresno Numismatic Society, which is our local coin club, puts on a show every October. It's Friday and Saturday, October 27th and 28th this year. We're at the American Legion Post 509 on 1st Street near Shields Avenue. And it should be a good event. You come there to buy, sell, trade, or just to look at what we've got.
What's it cost to come in there?
It's a $3 adult admission.
That's good.
If you buy a $5 raffle ticket, though, we give you a deal. We give you a free admission.
Free admission, $5. Well, why wouldn't you?
And the raffle tickets allow you to possibly win the best prizes of any coin show, probably anywhere in the country. Our top prize is a U.S. $10 gold piece worth about $1,000.
Oh my gosh! Well, I tell you, because my dad took me to a coin show when I was a kid, I got interest. So I guess it's okay to take kids.
Of course, kids get in free.
Get in free, so.
And we even have a kids' activity, kind of a scavenger hunt for coins. And if they participate in the activity, then they get a free proof set or mint set.
Very good. Now, I want to ask about some of the slides you sent in here.
Sure.
Tell us about this piece.
Okay, this, I wanted to talk about error coins.
Okay.
Now, you mentioned old silver coins. When you were a kid, and when I was a kid, you could get actual silver coins in circulation. You pretty much can't do that anymore. They've all been pulled out.
Yeah.
But you can still find error coins. Coin manufacturing is a complicated industrial process, and things can go wrong.
Especially if you're hammering them into shape.
Well, they do it with machines nowadays,
Nowadays,
but
okay.
still, things can go wrong. This particular coin I got at a bank a few years ago, so I paid 50 cents for a $50. And if you look on the tail of the eagle, you've got this blackish chunk of stuff on there.
I see, yeah.
This is called a struck-through error. When this coin was made back in 1967, a piece of steel, maybe a fragment of a machine, a broken bit of tool, got onto the metal disc before they struck the coin. And when they struck it, that bit of metal was smashed into the back of the coin, becoming part of it. That's called a struck-through error, and any kind of debris that gets into the machinery can result in an error like this.
I would imagine they have inspectors trying to catch those and not let them out.
Sure, but they're making hundreds of coins a minute on each of many different machines. If the coin is still the right size and it passes through these screens that they have, which will catch, odd-shaped pieces, there's a good chance it'll eventually make it into circulation. So that little chunk of, it's actually a chunk of steel, so it's magnetic, which is one reason I could
And the
pick it
idea
out.
here is you didn't have to go to a coin show or travel or spend $1,000.
No.
You're able to get a collectible coin
50 cents.
just in your hand from the grocery store or something, or at the bank.
Yeah, and it's probably worth $50 to $100 as a collector item. It's pretty scarce. They're unique. These are one-of-a-kind things when an error like this happens, and there are collectors that are willing to buy these and are pretty pleased with them.
Tell us about this one.
All right, this one I also got at face value. I put $1 into a vending machine. I got a bag of Cheetos, and I got 35 cents change,
Yeah.
which tells you how long ago that was, when
Yeah.
Cheetos were 65 cents. And the quarter was this piece. This is a missing obverse-clad layer. A 1979 quarter is made from a three-piece sandwich of metal. It's got a top layer of copper-nickel alloy, which looks silver-colored. It's got a center layer of copper, which looks copper-colored. And then the bottom is another copper-nickel layer. So when these are made correctly, they got three pieces, and they're all squished together.
When you hold them, the edge, you see the copper through the edge.
Correct.
So this one just left off of the...
Yeah, when they were making the blanks for this particular coin, they ran out of copper nickel on one side of the sheet that they were making. And so when they cut out the disc, this particular blank disc had exposed copper on one side and the regular silver-colored nickel alloy on the back.
And somehow it slipped through the
It
inspectors.
slipped through.
Or their,
It was stamped, and the front of it looks like a copper penny
It does
because
look
it's
like
the
a
same material. It's pure copper. This is a pretty valuable error. This is probably worth several $100s.
several $100s.
Yeah. And
Watch your Cheetos change, you
yeah.
guys. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
don't eat
know
too many of those.
You know what's coming through, collectible coins.
Yep.
And let's see this next one.
I think I got one more. Yes, this is a very unusual coin. This is another $50. This is a 1983 S. It is a proof. S means San Francisco. In 1983, San Francisco Mint was making proof coins for collectors. It
Right,
wasn't making
yeah.
coins for circulation.
Okay.
So this was a proof coin. It originally was packaged in a proof set. Now, proofs are supposed to be specially inspected, and quality control is very good because they're selling them to collectors, and collectors are fussy. But in this case, the dies that stamped out this coin, one of them was twisted 90 degrees out of alignment. Normally, if you look at a coin, you flip it over, the front and the back are in perfect alignment.
Perfect alignment.
In this case, the back is sideways, almost a perfect 90-degree misalignment. It's called a rotated die, and the fact that this is on a proof coin, which is supposed to be extra specially quality controlled, makes it really a unique error.
Where'd you get this one?
This one I also got at a bank.
Yeah. It's fun when you have a story with your collectible coin.
So I sent it in to be certified. That's why it's in this holder, and that is kind of an authenticity guarantee that it's a genuine error.
We have one more here.
Okay, now this one, I don't have an example, but I'm looking for it.
Okay.
This is one of the American women special quarters that they're making.
Okay.
So this is a brand new coin, 2023. The feature on the back is this lady, Edith Kanaka Ole, I think is her name. She was a Hawaiian, a hula dancer, kind of a Hawaiian tradition icon. She was apparently very well known in Hawaii, and they decided to honor her on this coin. Now on the back side, her name is I guess it's recessed. It's into the coin. Edith Kanaka Ole. This particular coin was made from clashed dies, another kind of error. If you run your coin press and you don't have a blank in between, the two dies smash into each other.
Okay.
And in this case, the lettering of her name, Edith, was smashed into the obverse die over the portrait of Washington. On this monitor, I can't really see it, but on Washington's cheek near his ear, there is a very distinct mirror image E. And the rest of her name, D-I-T-H, is also visible on George Washington's face. So that's a very unusual occurrence for modern coins. Clash dies are fairly common in older coinage from 100 years ago because quality control, again, was not as good. So to have an obvious clash die like that on a brand new coin is a pretty big deal for coin collectors. So you can bet that I'm going to be going to the bank and getting some rolls of quarters, trying to find one of those things, because I'd love to have one of those. It's a pretty spectacular error.
I know you have the big event coming up. I want to talk about that at the end, but you have ongoing meetings and club meetings
Sure.
and things that anybody could come to.
Right. We meet at the Trinity Lutheran Church. It's on Cedar Avenue near Ashland.
Okay.
We meet every second Tuesday of the month, 7 p.m. So January through November, we're there each month. And it's a general event. Anybody can come. You can sign up and become a member if you want, but you don't have to be. We usually have an educational presentation talking about a certain particular coin or paper money situation. We have a raffle. We have member reports. We have refreshments. And usually there's an auction where members can put coins up for bidding.
That's fun. And do people show up with their coins just to, hey, look what I got?
Yeah. Usually somebody will contact a club member. They can go to our website or you can send us an email and say, hey, I've got these coins, Grandma's old collection. How can I get somebody to look at them? And I'll suggest that they bring them to one of our meetings. We've got a lot of collectors there that like to look at coins, and they would look at your coins if you were to bring them in.
And that happens. You end up out of an estate, you end up with a bunch of stuff that you don't even know what it's worth. And people could take advantage of you if you're not careful.
Of course.
So it'd be nice to go to the club and talk to some...
Yeah, and that's an excellent reason to consider attending our coin show. Because at a coin show, you've got maybe 20 different dealers, and they're going to be in competition with each other. If you've got something that you want to sell, assuming it's not just an ordinary coin that's worth face value, if it's a collector coin, most dealers are going to be interested in that. And they obviously want to pay less for it than what they intend to sell it for. But you take that coin to several different dealers, and this guy says, well, I'll pay you $50 for it. That guy says, I'll pay $30. This guy says, I'll pay you $40. You go with the $50 offer.
That's the only time you could go to several people at a big coin show like that and really
It's the most convenient way to do it.
Yeah, it's like an appraisal.
And you can also buy gold and silver there very easily. I see all this stuff on TV, people looking to sell you gold, a gold IRA, whatever. At a coin show, you can look at gold coins in a case and silver coins and say, how much do you want for that one? And they'll quote you a price. If it's a fair price for you, then you just buy it and you walk out of there with the gold.
The gold coin's going to keep its value and hopefully increase.
Well, if inflation continues, you expect the price of the gold to go up as well as the price of your gasoline and your turkey sandwich.
I want to close by talking about your event again. And is it in October? But
Yes.
before we do that, any last thoughts? Anything you want our viewers to know?
Not really. I think it's a great hobby, coin collecting. A lot of history behind there. This ancient Greek coin, like I mentioned, 2,500 years old, still looks brand new. It's got the symbolism on there, the goddess Athena on one side, Athena's owl, symbol of wisdom, on the back side. Tremendous record of history, coinage throughout the ages.
It's right here on my desk, you guys. Well, I wanted two things. One is, when are your monthly meetings again?
They're on the second Tuesday of each month,
Okay,
and that's at the Trinity Lutheran Church, 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Free attendance.
Free to come in. And finally, let's close again on your big event. Tell us about that.
Well, we've mentioned it. It's a typical coin show. We've got probably 20 dealers specializing in everything from ancient coins to world paper money, U.S. coins, Lincoln cents, and of course lots and lots of gold and silver.
Very good. That's coming up on October 27th and 28th.
Right, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, and I'm going to leave this up for a bit, and thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
We'll be back with more Central Valley Talk right after this.